I'm going to radio back to control. I'm taking this well. I'm going to speak to Yvette. I'm going to see if there's any members of the crew missing. Hello, Yvette, can you hear me over? It's Stuart. Hello, is there anyone there? Over.
After receiving Stuart's distress call, the rest of the crew converged on the barrel room. No one else had been in the vicinity when he had witnessed the barrel rolling of its own accord. Everyone had their own theory as to what had caused it. Luckily, we had an expert witness on hand.
I don't know how a barrel would roll on its own. It is on an incline down there. It's specifically made for barrels to roll down. But they don't roll on their own, they need a push.
Is there anyone there?
To the best of David's knowledge, the barrel run had also been totally empty at the start of the night. So was this evidence of paranormal activity? It was certainly not the only strange event to occur during this terrifying night. There'd been lots of audible activity during both the vigils and Derek's walk-around. Crew members had witnessed the movement of objects, and for some of us, the tense atmosphere itself had been too much to bear.
There's nothing there. There's nothing there.
I want to go now.
There's nothing there.
Please.
I knew when we arrived this morning that it was going to be good because it was different and it just had the right feel about it. But I didn't think it was going to be as good as it has been because we've had so many things happen to us, so many things crack off, and I don't think that any vigil has actually gone out without something unexplained happening on each one.
It's definitely a first for me. I've never been to a place so unusual to do an investigation. A brewery is not one of the first places you'd think of for doing a paranormal investigation at. And to me, yeah, it was a bit unusual, but I was looking forward to it. I didn't know what to expect.
The highlight of the whole event for me has got to be what happened in the attic. Not knowing what's on the other side of the shelves, knowing that there was a figure with a brown cloak and a brown hood that's been seen up there, Derek picking up on it, and then just before we left, wow, that glass case that was rocked at the back of Derek. And I mean, there is absolutely, in my opinion, no possibility that anybody did that. It was pure, unadulterated, paranormal activity at its best.
During the walk-around, not an awful lot happened until approximately halfway through the lit walk-around.
Are you having a laugh?
When we were ascending the upper levels of the brewery, that's when we heard the keg noises. I can only describe it as two metal kegs, beer kegs, being banged together in quick succession 5 times.
Bang, bang, was it in there or was it down there?
Personally, I would like to think it was paranormal activity purely due to the fact that we know nobody was around. We know where all the crew are, we know where the on-site staff are, so I can categorically say nobody was around to cause those noises.
During this investigation, all the incidents that happen could be described as physical phenomena. That means they're bangs or objects apparently moving on their own. So let's take these in turn. First of all, quite early in the investigation, the crew hear 6 loud bangs in succession. What's particularly impressive about this is that all the crew are present and together. So what did cause the bangs, I don't know.
Unless you want to make some contact with us now, this is your last chance.
When Richard and Derek's group are in the attic, a cupboard appears to move all by itself. Now, the problem with this piece of footage is that the crew are actually very near to the cupboard, and also you can't see all of the cupboard on the clip, which means it's very difficult to rule out the possibility that one of them accidentally knocked it.
Just a passing.
Later on, when Stuart is alone in the barrel room, he too hears a noise which turns out to be a barrel rolling apparently on its own towards him. Again, I don't find that surprising. He finds that very frightening. If it was me there, I would be very frightened. The difficulty is knowing exactly what caused that barrel to move. We can't see whether or not someone pushed it, but as far as we know, there was no one else down there with him. Also, it seems unlikely the barrel could have simply moved on its own. Now, what's of interest to note is that other people have also reported experiencing this, but as far as I know, this is the first time it's happened when the person's being on their own.
Appearances can be deceptive. From the outside, the Greengate Brewery had seemed like an ordinary building. But as the shadows of darkness closed in, we experienced what had to be one of the most terrifying nights of our lives. Until the next time, sleep tight.
Tomorrow at 9, unseen footage from the last Most Haunted Live. It's Pendle Hill, exclusive to Living TV, broadcast channel of the year. And our Most Haunted weekend continues next.